welcome to the... Oh, is this the real fourth one? This is the fourth one now. This is the real fourth one for 5.4. That works good. This is the Final Fantasy XIV podcast with Skull and Rose. Or, you know, Rose and Spencer, as you could say. Since you have a real name.
I do have a real name. But,
I'm so sorry.
Skull's fine. I like Skull.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just default to it. It's so cool. It matches your cool image that you have.
Yeah. So we're here on the first patch post Shadowbringer's actual story. We're moving into the now we're gearing up for the next expansion, which everybody listening probably already knows about. We'll have things to say about it towards the later half of this episode.
Forspoken. Huh?
Yeah,
it's really exciting stuff.
I'm so glad they decided to go with that name of all names.
Yeah, it'll be really funny to see foreskin jokes for 2 years now. Very fun.
No.
No, we don't have to. It's fine. It's a bit. It's a bit. It's not real. We don't have to worry about it.
I'm just deflating right here. No.
Joke's on us in 7.0 when it's actually Forspoken.
Oh god, that would suck. All right, so what do we have on the docket?
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, 5.4. That's what we're starting with. It's been 2 months now since that came out. No, it's been a month. A month, probably. It feels like 2 months.
It's been 2. It was like December 10th, 13th, something like that.
It was
about 2 months. Yeah, oh. They actually went really quick this time, unlike 5.3, where it felt like we were waiting forever.
So wait, it's going to be 5 months between 5.4 and 5.5. That's
Well, then we'll also remember that 5.5 is split up into the part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, they're probably having problems anyway, I'm sure, with Japan's amazing reaction to COVID that has been on display the last couple weeks. So yeah, I can't blame that. I was just like, oh wow, because they, we had that long time between 5.3 and 5.2, but we didn't have that long between 5 months. I thought it would be back to normal, but that's fine. It's fine. You know how it is. We're going to talk about 5.4 anyways, not 5.5 right now. So yeah, what do you want to start with? Just main scenario? Just go straight into story? All right.
Let's talk about the story.
So we cured primal disease in this story. The main conceit of the patch, if you don't remember or haven't caught up, is that, Alice comes back. She's like, hey, I want to cure tempering, which is like, wow, you remembered tempering exists. That's good.
Yeah, we haven't had to really deal with that this entire expansion.
Not even the last one either, really. Or well, I guess for Lakshmi they did. That
for
was
Lakshmi,
the
yes,
only thing. But who remembers Lakshmi?
Oh god. I don't, because they didn't give her the full snake body and they were cowards about it.
She's just a lady. She's just a woman.
She's just a lady.
Very boring. Yeah, when I went back to when I went with the Blue Mage stuff we'll talk about later to get the Lakshmi spell, I was just like, man, Lakshmi really sucks. I think easily the worst primal, probably.
The music's good, but that's the best
The music
part.
is good, but it also doesn't have a transition, so you're listening to a 2-minute loop for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas, the best primal that came out, Warrior of Light, has a 7-minute song.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. But yeah, so they're dealing with tempering. They just cured it outright by making a giant pig, Great stuff overall. Points for imagination and creativity. Mm-hmm. I think I was sort of dreading after Shadowbringers going back to Eorzea, because it was like, Stormblood didn't leave the strongest impression in my mind of what they were doing over there. Just in terms of like the overall cohesion, not necessarily like the parties involved in Stormblood, but like the Eorzean alliance as a whole, basically. Like, there was just like, hey, they're fighting Garlemald, I guess. But then the developments throughout Shadowbringers of what's going on in Garlemald were very like, well, like, what does that even mean anymore? Like, they just sort of run away from that. But I think that they actually did some interesting stuff this time around, between that and also dealing with Merylwib.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I remember when I first started playing, and I was like, which Grand Company should I join? And my friend was like, you join the Maelstrom because Merylwib's the only good character out of the three that leads the different Grand Companies. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever, that's fine. And then Merylwib is just kind of there. Like, they definitely do more with Ralbon in Stormblood, of course. And then Kane Senna gets some limelight during Heavensward when you're communing with the Mughals up in Mogholm. And they usually go to Kane Senna whenever they have, like, hey, we need you to go pull Y'shtola out of the...
we need you to go make a Y'shtola blunt, please.
But Merylwib's just kind of always been like, hey, our pirate nation is having problems with the locals. Can you come be racist for a minute?
Yeah.
And this time they were like, no, this isn't cool. We need to actually give Merylwib like a character and delve into a little bit of the really sick-ass lore that's tied to her character that just hasn't been in the game yet until now. So the fact that her both of her pistols have names, Death Penalty and Annihilator, that comes up. It's really good.
Yeah, it was really good.
There was a moment where I thought I would have to like fight in her place, and they actually do a cutscene of her not having to rely on me to fight like for her honor or something, which was nice. And then she does a really cool moment after the during and after the solo duty you have to do. They gave her custom animations to go along with her sort of, I guess, unique martial art of using two guns.
Corsair, as it were.
Yeah. But yeah, Merylwib is a character now, and her character is, hey, we kind of fucked you over by coming here, and that wasn't cool of us. But we understand now that doing that was bad, and now we want to actually work to make amends for that. So, because they specifically being the kobolds in this case, but they also, because they already were like in talks with the Sahagin about it, because the Sahagin's deal this whole time has just been they were displaced from their home and just kind of had to go to Vilbrand, which that seems like a much more easier thing to, talk about. Like, okay, we can give you some space for your spawning grounds. That's fine. But like the kobolds have been there like since the beginning, so.
And they did treaty lying to them to manipulate them, and then dealing with that was good. I think just in general, them following up on like, because for a long time, like you go to the Beast Tribe quests, and like the Beast Tribe quests have very poor writing in 2.0. Not to be rude to the writers or anything, but you compare it to like what's going on now these days, and it's just like amateur hour over there, and the way that they portray her as just like, I'm just gonna launch a nuke at the Sahagin all of a sudden, and it's just like, well, I don't want to, but everyone wants me to, so I guess I'm going. Like, that was just a very much like, I know for years a lot of people in my circles like, like, hey, that's a bad kid, she's an imperialist, stuff like that. Which always felt at odds to me with the nature of what Limsa is like, right? Like, Limsa is the only city-state where beast tribes can just walk around and, like, there's no racism, really.
Yeah, there are Kurn and goblins just in Limsa.
Yeah. And there's just, like, there's no, like, structural like, there's no structural oppression necessarily in terms of like what's going on over there, which like that makes sense. So it was very strange that she'd be like, well, I'm gonna launch a nuke. Like that's so out of character. So to see this instead be like her being like, hey, I know that my like ancestors like fucked you up, so I'm going to like fix this, I think it was really good to see. My only concern with after seeing this is that they try to do something similar for Connie Senna, and I don't think it will play. Like, I don't think you can play like the lady who's in charge of the most racist place in Eorzea is like, she's good though. She's letting the spirits be racist, but it's fine.
Yeah, the three like Realm Reborn city-states kind of have their own political and sociological problems. Ul'dah is ultra-capitalist and racist. Gridania is extraordinarily racist, and they use traditionalism to justify their racism, basically, and also they use their religion to justify their racism. Which, in a context where like their religion is worshipping the elementals who are a real force that actually exist, is kind of uncomfortable. And then Limsa, their whole big thing was just they were colonizers.
Yeah.
Which, that of all of the problems, capitalism, racism, and colonizing, the colonizing seems like the one easier to handle.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's not ingrained in their religion or the economy. So
yeah, that is reminding me though of, I think, the real down point of the recent, like the real bottom zone, the real like this is the worst it could possibly be of recent times in the game. Has easily been, I think it was 4.1, where Nanamo takes you and Godbert gives you a speech about how charity is bad.
Yes, that is 4.1. It was awful.
I think that's the low point of the game.
It was really bad going through that with Solon for the first time. Because they did the Manderville quest line where Godbert is just this
funny guy,
goofy character who is the richest man alive and also the most powerful man in the world. And then they'd make, oh no, actually charity's bad. You can't just give people stuff for free. Then they'll never let you give a man a fish.
It was so like, oh, okay, Mr. Gambling Empire man, how about you like fuck? Yeah, that was bad. But on the bright side, after that, in what was it, 4.3, we got the resolution of the salt mining quests, where the guy says, hey, well, don't worry, we're going to destroy it from the inside.
God.
Like, he's like, they gave us power in the Syndicate, and we'll make sure they regret that. And I was like, yeah, my man.
It's good shit.
It is, but the Marrowweb stuff was good. It was good. It made me hopeful overall, but again, I can't see them doing the same for Connie Senna if they want to in the next expansion. Because, like, not to get ahead of ourselves, but they said like the raid for the next expansion will be about an Eorzean zone. I figure it might be Gelmora. And if they do Gelmora, they would probably work that into it, and I'm just like, ugh. We'll see. But yeah, is there anything else you can think about at the MSQ? They use Titan's Arena in the MSQ again.
Yeah. Going with Titan, and the tempering cure starts from Alizé, because this whole time in the background, we've just had traumatized kid Gabu from the Kobolds just hanging out with the Maelstrom because he got to watch his parents get sacrificed to his god. Which we get to see the final conclusion of that chapter, where Gabu gets to be effectively the link between Limsa Lominsa and the Kobolds of Ogamoro, which was nice. because that was a very touching moment when they were first trying to like reintegrate Alizé into the MSQ after the one point in A Realm Reborn where she's just sitting in the quicksand with her brother, and they're having an argument, and then she leaves to go be part of the Bahamut raids, which you don't have to do to continue the MSQ, even though you probably should do them, even though they're really old and designed poorly.
Yeah.
And there's no easy mode. But the Gabu stuff, I remember being like, okay, I can be invested in Alizé as a character now because she's attached to this little kobold kid, and he's tiny and adorable, and I love him. And now he's all better now, and because he's the patient zero for the cure tempering procedure that Alizé and Grahatia work on together, basically, with the help of Sid and Nero, who is back in the MSQ, baby.
Hell yeah. Love
that horrible, stinky man arguing with his husband over who's going to get the most credit for their invention. That was the big thing that I want. One of the best moments in the entire story of Final Fantasy XIV to me so far came in this patch, and it was a line Sid said where he you're telling him about how Grahatia, like what happened to him, and the whole story with like, hey, so we were off doing the Shadowbringer storyline, and here's what happens. And Sid hears that a version of him successfully developed a way to traverse time and space, and goes, wow, that's really fucking sick of me. Well, I guess I don't have to do that because, you know, I've basically already done it, so now I can worry about solving other actual problems that I have. And I love that line so much because a character like Sid would very easily go, oh shit, I have the capacity in my lifetime to invent a way to traverse time and space. I need to do this. This is going to become my life's obsession. And then that's all he's known for. But the decision where he goes, okay, that's cool, but, you know, since I've already solved that and I know I can, I'm just going to go do other stuff now. I love it so much. It makes him way more interesting of I am the science guy that you come to when you need a science problem solved.
He's always been one of my favorites. Just he's your fun like uncle who brings you presents for Christmas and stuff. He's just he's living it up.
I cannot overstate how good that line is, because I didn't quote him directly, but I did take a screenshot of it because reading it just this is amazing because like it's so simple. Why haven't I seen this before for this kind of character? Because like I could easily see like Nero as a character going like, oh no, I have to do this, but then Sid's just like, nah, I already did it. We already did it together. We don't have to do it. We could just do other stuff now. We can make cool robots or the best coffee maker in the world.
They already made the best coffee maker in the world.
Yeah, they did.
Actually, they did that and made time travel, if you recall, because there are enemies inside of the Crystal Tower that are the fucking boil busters.
What if we made a coffee maker, but it's a robot with a gun?
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah. A donut AOE, like for donuts. It makes donuts for us. Yeah. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Ugh.
So all that stuff in the MSQ was great. Also, Matoya's still here, and we get to see Alphino absolutely eviscerate Y'shtola in front of her.
Yeah, that was good.
Man,
I love
Alphino. I love Alphino so much, but just seeing him absolutely destroy Y'shtola there, I was like, oh dear, this is payback for when
Yeah, when she did the same thing to him in 3.1.
Mm-hmm.
She does it to everybody. She deserves this. This is what she gets.
She deserves to get bullied every now and then. I think we can talk about the dungeon since we're on the MSQ and the dungeon was tied to
it. It has Banjo-Kazooie music. Drippy is adorable. Was made by Y'shtola when she was a little baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. That's all I can think about it. The final boss is a giant Porksy, which is, I love the Porksies.
It's funny how the solution for tempering is we made a giant porksy who makes other porksies, and then the porksies cast the spell that casts the double spell that removes tempering, because you have to take out the primal's ether poison thing while also preserving the person's memories. So having just like porksies do that is just very funny. Because porksies are the solution to all your problems in Eorzea is just make a porksy. Like, oh, you need to traverse the rift, but you weren't summoned. That's okay. Just put your soul, like, have a porksy, put your soul in a rock. Oh,
Yep.
you've been tempered by a god. That's okay. Have a porksy rekindle your
Shoot
selfhood.
goo at you. I don't know.
Toilet's clogged. Okay, well, we'll go summon a porksy to unclog your toilet. The dungeon, I love the Banjo-Kazooie music. I wasn't a fan of the dungeon gear just being the Don Meg sets. Again, as cool and good as those sets are, I don't care about them again.
Yeah, usually like when we revisit a set, it's in the next expansion, which is why it's weird to me that they were just like, hey, here's, I guess, you know what, now that I say that, I guess in Heavensward they literally did the Dravanian set twice, for like, what was it, like 3.0, and it was like the Never, was it the Neverreap set, or was it?
No,
I don't know,
it was
they redid
it was Anti-Tower.
Anti-Tower set. They did the Anti-Tower set with whatever, again, for 3.4 or whatever it was.
Yeah. My favorite part about the dungeon, aside from the music, was that in the room with all the books in the cauldron, you can see little placards of like the original Final Fantasy I sprites.
Yeah.
That are just there. That was a nice touch. It gave the impression that this area is very old and that Matoya is absolutely a Final Fantasy I character, because she is.
Yeah, she's just ancient. She was there for the first one. I will say though, and we'll probably talk about this now, right? Yeah. Man, I'm sick of doing it. I'm really sick of doing it. That dungeon, personally. Because even if I like it, like, aesthetically, it's very much a one and done to me. Because it's very... What's the term I want to use? Like, not prescribed. Like, it's very linear, I don't know. Like, all dungeons are linear, but do you know what I mean? Like, it's very, like, gimmicky, like, you go through the portals and stuff.
Yeah, you go to the Earth place, you fight a bunch of Earth monsters, then you fight the Earth boss that has Earth mechanics, and then you go to the water place that has a bunch of water enemies, and you fight like a couple water mechanics that aren't even like in the fight, like parts of the fight, until the boss fight where you fight a literal water sprite, and then you go to the fireplace and there's a bunch of fire monsters, and you have to like wait for lava to be cleared, and then you don't fight a lava boss per se, you fight a lava mini boss who's just like the dudes with the hands, the slime or slash rock men with the hands, and then I know what you're saying. It is linear in the sense that all the dungeons are linear, but this one feels very just you're running
controlled gauntlets. Like, yeah. Yeah, and yeah, that with the Hero's Gauntlet, speaking of gauntlets, is just the double combo of those for, like, you know, ever is... Ugh.
It makes me, like, I tend to like dungeons where you're exploring, like, a singular set area, like Grand Cosmos, where you're going into this big, huge palace, and you're exploring different parts of it.
Or Zelphatal is a good example of a dungeon I like. Like, you know, you're going up the mountain, you go in the mountain, you go on top of the mountain.
Yeah. Both these last two dungeons, as good as they are in a vacuum. They're very much, you go through one part of it, then you do go to a portal to the next one. It's not until like the end, towards the last half of Hero's Gauntlet, where they don't force you to just go into a portal and you're there. And then, yeah, it's not compelling. And also the fact that both these dungeons are back to back because, hey, guess what? Shadowbringers is the expansion where we're only doing one dungeon per patch, so Expert Roulette is absolute hell because your choices are the new dungeon or the dungeon that's been out for 3 to 4 months, or in the case of 5.3, the dungeon that's been out for 7 months.
Yeah. Ugh. And, like, the thing that's really frustrating me about this is I was fine in 4.0 when they were like, hey, 3 dungeons is a lot. Or whatever. 2 dungeons every patch is a lot. We're going to do 2 in 1. I was like, you know what? That's fine. Right? It's fine. That's like making it so that they don't feel like obligated to make a dungeon, I guess. But now it's just like, and they were saying like when they did Shadowbringers, they were like, we're going to go down to 1 dungeon because dungeons aren't very interesting and it will let us make more content. Where's that other content? Like, I know the COVID's happening, but they said this beforehand and that there has not been like anything remotely, I think, reasonable to replace that loss of a dungeon.
Also, this was a problem before COVID happened.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a like problem with the thing that the players probably do most in the game, for capping tombstones and stuff.
My take on it is if Expert Roulette is only going to have 1 dungeon that's new, it shouldn't be Expert Roulette. It should be there should be the level 80, like, so right now in patch 5.4, Hero's Gauntlet should be the level 8. It should be in the level 80 roulette. And then Matoya's Relic should be either like the featured dungeon for the week or whatever, and then it rotates out whatever level 80 dungeon is like the featured for that week.
Yeah, like the PvP one. Yeah, sure.
So you can run it. So like the daily level 80 roulette changes which dungeon you want to run that day. And then if you want more tomes for that day, you can run the level 80 one, which gives you a rotation of whatever the level 80 ones are that aren't the featured one. Because then at least, and also they need to buff the rewards from the level 80 roulette, so people are more inclined to do it. Or otherwise just remove Expert Roulette altogether.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as another alternative.
And just put all of the dungeons in the level 80 roulette, and then buff up their tome, because like there's no reason to run what's the twinning anymore, because
right.
Like there's just like there's no reason to deliberately queue for the twinning unless you are trying to get the music, I guess.
And it's not like with the constant simplifying of the game's mechanics and things like that. It's not like an Expert Roulette dungeon is meaningfully more hard than, the twinning, for example.
Correct.
They're basically the same. It's just a numbers game.
They should just rotate out what the featured level, what the featured capstone dungeon is, and then all the other ones are just in the roulette, and there we go. Then Expert Roulette won't exist, and it won't be a problem.
Yeah.
But also, this doesn't solve the issue of there not being as much content in Shadowbringers, because the 2 big things that Shadowbringers has done really well, in my opinion, is the story and narrative, and the quality of life changes to the game systems overall. It is amazing not having to deal with TP. It is amazing that your GCD for doing weapon skill combos lasts like 15 seconds, which I think they did specifically because when they were designing Gunbreaker, you have to hold some of your GCD combos, like when you're doing your Gnashing Fang combo with the continuations, and you also have to slot in like a Burst Strike or your, what's it called, Sonic Break, the dot that you put on the target. If they didn't increase how long your GCD combos can be held, that job would feel so awful. And they decided, okay, this feels bad, we're just going to change this for all the jobs, so it makes things like Ninja really fun, where you can hold GCD combos while you do your mudras. Stuff like the 17 billion different crafting and gathering updates we've gotten every patch this expansion. Some of the UI changes. Like, it's been great. And then on the content side of things, we've got half as many dungeons. Bosia, which we'll get to, which is very hit or miss.
That's generous.
And then, like, there's the Ishgard restoration stuff, which is fine. I think there are certain
It's the same thing every time.
They made it once. And
it's reusing elements from Heavensward also.
Yeah.
Almost entirely reusing assets from Heavensward, realistically speaking.
Yeah. Like, it's nice to, like, have those characters still be, like, relevant now, and, like, it's not like, oh, Heavensward ended, so we never have to deal with these characters ever again. It's nice to see them. And it's nice to see Francel being the one who leads it, since he was kind of an important character in 2.0 storyline, and then you kind of just don't deal with him for almost all of Heavensward. So it's nice. I like seeing, like, a minor character be put in a major role like that.
Yeah.
But just to go down the list here, like, some of the content that we've gotten in Shadowbringers has been good, like ocean fishing. That's fantastic. It's a great way to level fishing. It feels like a team effort, which is nice. You're not, like, competing per se. The Blue Mage updates, both this recent one and the one back in 5.1, have been great and make the job feel way better than it did in 4.5. New Game Plus is really good. It feels very, very pristine. I used it while helping Solon get through the MSQ, and it's very clean how you can just instantly transition from, like, a new game. You basically have a New Game Plus save file in the game. It's really nice. Explorer mode was something they added this patch, which is very nice for taking screenshots. They let us just use the LB buttons whenever we want, so you can take sicko mode screenshots. But in terms of reasons to log into the game and play and cap your tomestones, there isn't really a lot of that.
Yeah.
So,
and it's just like, yeah, like, I feel like the main thing that also really, you know, got me is listen, it's fine for them to exist ultimately in the scheme of things, but the two things that they specifically did away, they specifically took, you know, the dungeons away and stuff like that, and didn't do a palace this time, was so that they could focus more on doing, you know, ultimates and the Baldesian Arsenal, Delubrum Regina stuff. And what really frustrates me about that is that those are, like, played by what, like 1% of the player base?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember seeing the list of clears for, like, Ultimate. Like, I get it, but it's fine for those things to be made, but, like, should they really be prioritized over content for, like, you know, more casual players? Like, it feels very weird to me that they would do that, because logically speaking, like, you'd think they would want to try to appeal to that, like, more casual person, that person who's not necessarily casual, you know, like, I'm saying casual in terms of, like, the sort of difficulty of content they want to engage with, the complexity. Like, these are people who play the game every fucking day, right? Like, they really like playing the game. They want to play the game, and the game's just, like, running out of things for them, and just keep bolstering this, like, this very, very small subset of people. And it's just, I don't understand the logic there.
Mm-hmm. I think
it's very frustrating.
This patch has really showcased the fact that the content in Shadowbringers has been either undeveloped or underdeveloped. And 5.45 specifically was, like, the first time in a long while where a patch came out and I just didn't really want to play it. And that was earlier this week is when it went live, and it had two things that I was interested in. There was a Blue Mage update, and there was the new Bozia stuff, and I just didn't want to do it. Like, it felt like a chore, which it didn't really feel like before.
Yeah.
And it's not like when Rose is saying casual, like you mean like the person who logs into Captomes and hang out with their friends and like maybe run some EX roulette or like EX roulettes, or farm for like dragons or birds or whatever, or maybe do some Blue Mage stuff together, or hang out and try to do some DR runs or do Palace of the Dead and stuff, but not the kind of person who is like, yeah, I'm just gonna party finder for some savage clears to try and like get gear up and stuff, or I'm gonna go and look for like an ultimate static, or you're not talking about the person who just, I play this game just to do crafting or do stuff that is like, what's the word? There's a word for it. It's the gameplay type that everybody keeps trying to like recreate, despite the fact that it's inherently something that has to become from the community when it comes.
Emergent gameplay.
Emergent gameplay. Thank you. Like people who do role play stuff. You're not talking about like that, even though they have made attempts to make role playing like an actual gameplay component, even though it's very difficult / inadvisable to like make a reward system for that.
Yeah, really the thing that gets me is they just need to implement that WoW mod everyone's used for years, where you get you get a box that you can put, and other people who have the mod can see your box, and the box says like, hey, like whatever, I'm Ryuko Matsui, the dragon daughter of Midgard Sormer, here's my eye color, etc. Stuff like that that people use in WoW.
Yeah.
Like the idea that hasn't happened yet is crazy to me.
I always like reading people's search info and seeing stuff about their character that you can't tell just from looking at them. Like the big one being, oh, my character has like a Magitech left arm, or they're missing their eye, or they have like, they're an amputee or something, like stuff like that. It's always really interesting to see, and it's always kind of a bummer when you can't like just have that stuff for one reason or another. But I really just wish that stuff was in the game. Like the fact that like there should be like a box where you say, here is your character sheet, basically. I think that would be really cool. Mm-hmm. But search infos just aren't enough characters. It's like trying to like describe your character in a tweet.
Exactly, less than a tweet, really.
Like an original tweet with like 70 characters, and that's it. But yeah, we can wrap up MSQ, but God, this patch, great story again, great story stuff.
Yeah,
content wise, it's like, okay, this is fine.
We got the only other thing that happens in the main scenario is Fan of Daniel shows up, and he does his little funky dance and has a giant lunar Bahamut that, as he wrote here, he wailed in the gacha to try and get.
His ultra rare lunar Bahamut summon.
His SSR lunar Bahamut. That whole scene where he's like, I want to kill everyone, and then I want to kill myself, and it will be the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life. It's just like, what are you talking about, my man? What is going on?
And he goes, so don't even try to reason with me, like, because I don't care, because I'm a child.
Yeah. He's the Joker. He's the Joker that we've needed.
He is the Joker, like actual. Like, we kept calling Emmett Selk a rat man just because...
He has rat-like qualities.
He has rat-like qualities, but we have a genuine, honest Joker now.
I think the thing that really strikes me as the most Joker is when he goes, I'm different. I'm different. Or whatever.
I'm different.
I'm not like those old fuddy-duddies.
Can you imagine you resurrect a long lost coworker from like thousands of years of like being sundered and being split apart, and he just goes,
the Joker.
"No, fuck." And then he turns out to be the Joker, and he just learns that, oh man, all these things happened in the past and we have to work to set things right, and he just goes, I don't give a shit about any of this, my dudes.
What was this guy doing? That's what I want to know. Like, for like the last like whatever fucking thousands of years that Emmett Selk and all these other fuckers have been doing stuff. Like, what were they doing? You know?
God, I wish I could have asked him, like, hey, you wouldn't happen to have any completely unhinged coworkers, would you, that I have to worry about if I kill you?
There was this one guy.
I think we are all fans of Daniel.
Yeah, I know some people don't like him because they think he's a little, like, they want Emmett Selk too, you know, which I get. Like, you want like a more compelling villain, but I think like a villain of this type can be compelling, especially after Emmett Selk, right? Where it's like, hey, like, guess what? Sometimes in real life, there's just an evil person, right? Like, there is just a bad dude, and you don't need to like rationalize them or justify them. You just need to beat the shit out of them.
I think fan of Daniel's cohort / master / other antagonist, Xenos.
Gay buddy, I don't know.
Gay his boyfriend. I think Xenos is a good villain, even though, or even like specifically because he is so polarizing as a character. Like, this is gonna sound, this might be a stretch here, but Xenos in my mind occupies the same general space as like Vriska Circuit from Homestuck and Komeda from Danganronpa 2, because all three of these characters are villainous and they do bad things and are responsible for lots of people dying. And yet there are, like, you either love them or you hate them. There isn't really an in-between here. And I think that, like, in Xeno's case, people tend to say, like, oh, he's stinky, or he smells, or I don't like him, he's boring. And he is the stinky and smelly, but he is not, like, boring, I don't think, because his character compulsion is he wants to kill and then also wants to be killed. Which is fine as a character motivation. It's not deep. It's not, I want to resurrect the long-lost paradise that I knew that all my friends and loved ones were a part of, and I want to bring them all back. Like, Emmett Selk is who you go to for when you want deep motivation from your antagonists. With Xenos, it's just more of like, this is a game where you fight people. Xenos is the biggest threat to fight, so they have to lean more into that. I like what they've done with him in the post Shadowbringer, like post 5.0 storyline, where he straight up, like, this is a man who was raised in fascism as a prince, and then leads an army, and then the second that fascism is like interfering with what he wants, he's just like, no, actually, fuck this, fuck you. I'm going to burn the entire world to the ground because I am tired of waiting to be killed by you again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a good villain, even though people might not like his character as much, because it's hard to not have strong feelings about him. It's hard to not want to just completely annihilate him.
I think like the thing that makes me I'm optimistic for what they're going to do in 6.0, because I think having Shadowbringers showed a more consistent tone and more cohesive narrative than Stormblood did, with all their issues, I think, covering both coasts, as it were. I think that I have more faith in them in able to make him compelling and follow up on his case, because I think like my problem was just like the whole thing at the end was just like, it felt very in Stormblood. I mean, it felt very like, we are going to make this man the evil villain who is the opposite of you, who he doesn't care about anyone, you know, like he only cares about himself, whereas you care about everyone, and we're giving him the Dark Echo and stuff like that. And it was just like, okay, like, you know, like I feel like they just didn't have enough time to properly pace that stuff out in a meaningful way to make him as interesting as he could be.
Hopefully
I hope that they do that going forward.
Hopefully his job change, because he snapped his katana in half, will...
He stepped on it.
He stepped on it. Will,
and he weighs 700 pounds. It's all in his ass.
It's all in his ass. It was funny because like Solon always calls him Juicy whenever he's on screen.
That's what he is.
Yeah, he. I don't know. I think he's fun as a villain. He's not necessarily good as a. He's a mirror of the protagonist, who's like this evil person with the Dark Echo, as you said. I think he works better as a. He is a gamer. He only cares about killing enemies.
Sure.
So, but we'll see. I love how this expansion ends with him snapping his katana in half by stepping on it, and now with what we know coming up later, he's probably has a different kind of weapon. But before we get there, let's talk about some of the other stuff in this patch. Is there anything you want to bring up?
Let's not go full complain mode. I was about to suggest to go to talk about Bosnia. We're going to talk about Eden. How about that as an extension of the main scenario discussion? Eden wrapped up, right? You're raiding out in there. You're doing the savage.
We cleared E11S today.
Oh wow, nice! I didn't see that. Very good job.
It was really fun. We had been on that fight for like 3 weeks, and we finally managed to clear it today. We'll have to re-clear it next week because the raid is still locked, so you have to do weekly re-clears. But I got the pants from the drop this week, so I don't need any other like gear drops from that fight. So,
well, that's good.
The storyline for Eden's Promise, I think, was. I think people generally liked it. I wasn't expecting some of these 11th hour twists, but it was very gay.
Yeah,
it was very gay.
It was gay. It was very gay. Yes. So I have one qualm with it that I think I said to you when it happened. I have one qualm, and that is so I hate the last fight. I think this is easily the weakest, like, capstone fight they've had out of all of them. Referring to Gaia, or is it Gaia? What is it called? Is it called Eden Prime again?
It's just called Eden's Promise.
Eden's Promise, okay. I just think, like, that whole fight, especially on normal mode where you have to go through all the, like, memory things, is so tedious. Even if it's gay. So that's how you know I didn't like it, because it's pretty gay, and I was still like, oh. I felt like my major qualm was just what they did with Eden. Like, the concept of Eden, what Eden is, where they just said when Ardbert punched that Ascian really hard, it punched the Ascian out into the light, and the light turned the Ascian into a super alien robot computer.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's like, Ardbert, you punched a guy so hard he can terraform now. Like, what is that? What does that, like, mean? Like, I just felt like that whole part was just like you could have just said, like, oh, it was this mystery alien supercomputer that got turned into a Sin Eater. That would have been, I think, more interesting. And the Ascian got stuck inside it or something. Like, I think that would have been a more interesting thing. Just to say, like, this man turned into this was a little bit insane to me.
Yeah, because you just don't see that happen anywhere else. Like, they even could have spun it as, oh, like the world is they've started tipping this world towards light, and then this is what happens when an Ascian's ether gets like exposed and converted and shit. But they didn't convey it that way. They conveyed it like Arbor was responsible for doing this.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
And I think the one interesting thing I will say about Mitran, who is there, they don't have any gendered pronouns in the game at all. And their Ascian name being Artemis, I think, is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
All things considered.
It was very that whole part, like the whole Ascian getting turned into an alien supercomputer that ends up like overriding the entire world was weird, but like the Mitran and Logrief backstory stuff was very touching. I liked the resolution that they went with. The idea that like, okay, well, you are this other person now, and it took Mitran like being killed as a boss in a raid to realize that, hey, you need to
Final Fantasy XIV.
You need to let go this time, because Gaia's like her own person now, even though she technically is like we are a Zem, but like Gaia is now, like Logrief is now Gaia. Like, we are that person, but we aren't that person, and you need to accept that. And then Mitran's decision to sort of like, okay, I get it now. Thank you for punching me in the face many, many times to beat this into my Ascian skull. I will leave now. It was nice. The one-to-one comparisons between Final Fantasy VIII and Gaia as Squall, and then Reen using the gunblade to cut through. That was some good shit right there.
It was good. Like, just the game was on point. The Rainbow Crystal.
Rainbow Crystal. The scene where Reen hugs Gaia and basically pulls her out of the void, and it pans back and you see the whole area just covered with flora, and you see Eden in the back just like overgrown with this huge tree. Beautiful. Couldn't have asked for a better resolution for the story of this this raid series, although I do agree that the last fight left a lot to be desired. Also, you fight Reen's DeviantArt account, her featured.
That's true.
Featured art as the third boss. That was fun.
That was something. I'll say, especially, I think I thought that the E11 was like, it's not super exciting, but at the very least, I think like it is mixing up mechanics in a way. Whereas like when you do E12, it is mind-numbing in every sense to me, like doing the weekly that I was doing to get the weapon tombstone. I've stopped now. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
But like the whole having like, oh wow, look, I'm gonna do Ifrit. Goes to the side. I did Ifrit. I'm gonna do Ramu. Okay, go away. Did Ramu. Guess what? I'm doing Ifrit again. Like, it's just like, okay, like this is thrilling. This is engaging gameplay.
I did the Savage version of that fight because we had like an hour, 15 minutes left, and we were like, let's try E12S. And by the end of it, we were like, oh no, fuck this. We're watching a guide on this because we did E11S completely blind, but we did E12S, and first phase is just as boring as it is in E12 normal. The only catch though is that when she does the junctioning for Titan and Shiva, she doesn't immediately transition into Earth and Fury or Diamond Dust and then changes the arena. She does like a specific mechanic on each player that you have to resolve after you do the combos of like the primals, but you still those combos are still the same combos. They're not like she doesn't do like 3 of them in one or anything interesting. It's just it's very boring. All the stuff that happens afterwards, though, like I don't think we got the boss down to like 70%. God, that shit is nuts.
So you've generally been enjoying the raiding this time, or?
Yeah. 9S. I switched to raid groups because my original raid group, who I'd been raiding with since E1S, there were a bunch of people sort of like on the like waiting in the wings to like raid with that group.
Sure.
And somebody else who was going to be in that original group but then went to another group said, "Hey, we need a tank." And I was like, all right, well, I know there's other people who want to raid with my original group, and this group needs a tank. And like I just like, okay, I will go, because that way other people can raid with this group. And then so I did E9S with 2 different groups basically. That fight's fine. E10S is fine. E11S is fine. Like, they're fun fights, but it's mostly a case of just confirming that, okay, I can actually play this game at a decently competent level, even though I'm not going, like, I'm not a numbers person where I'm paying attention to how much, like, I cannot, like, I do like optimizing, but I don't get really into it. Like, I have to get
I have to get
numbers.
blue or whatever. Yeah. I don't even know if that's a color. I just invented that color.
A color. Like, I'm
it is? Okay.
I'm content to being like green, honestly. I don't need.
I'm content to clear it. Is how I feel. Yeah, like I just like, hey, can I beat it? All right, cool.
So, but it's been fun. This is the first raid tier where I've cleared the third. Like, I've gone into the third fight on content and cleared the third fight on content, and now it might be the first raid tier where I clear the whole tier on content. So,
I believe in you.
Can do it. My favorite fight's probably the first one, to be honest.
Really? Yeah.
Because the tiles mechanic in Savage is very fun to do.
Yeah, it seems interesting. It seems like a. Well, I like all the videos that it was like a you need to find this man and shame him or whatever, where it was like the video of the black mage casting and then they disconnect the second the tile disappears and then it reappears and they reconnect.
Oh, it's so funny.
So they don't die. It's like you need to find them.
New black mage tech of not having to move.
Make sure you have a lag switch.
God.
For yourself.
Mm-hmm. There isn't really much else to say about Eden's Promise, I don't think. The gear is fine. The weapons all look okay. The mounts, cool. It kind of feels like it should have been the first tier's mount, but they wanted to give us.
Remember what it is? Is it Eden?
It's just the first Eden boss.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
It's like a mini Eden that you just ride on. It's not even like a 4-person mount, which is the weird part, because they led the whole raid tier with a 4-person mount, and then the other 2 mounts have been solo ride.
Well, no, the second one is a 2-person mount.
Is it?
Because Ramu's there.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Am I wrong?
Ramu's probably the fight I... No. Ramu's not the fight I hate the most. Ifrit and Garuda's the fight I hate the most.
I don't think anyone likes that. It looks like bad macaroni and cheese shit is going down. It's not... The music is very... The... Like, general aesthetics are painful to look at, I think. It's just not... It's not good. I don't like it.
It's not good.
Either. All right, let's see here. All right, we could talk about. I guess this is a quick one. The shifting oubliettes. Oubliettes?
Oubliettes of
Liga. We've done some.
Yeah, we have.
What do you think?
The frog icon, not real, fake, doesn't exist. Nobody's ever landed a frog.
Have you asked around? Because we've never.
I know one person, resident of the 08th Magitech team, wife Materia, who has seen the frog.
What happens?
I didn't ask because I didn't.
You don't want to be spoiled.
I didn't want to be spoiled, and also it doesn't exist. The frog does not. I've done them with Solon and crew. Doesn't exist. The frog doesn't exist. Look, if I get frog, we're gonna start the next episode of this series, and I'm just gonna shout, "The frog exists," but that's not gonna happen.
It's like a creepypasta. It's like, oh no, one day I went to the shifting oubliettes, and well, it hit the frog, and what happened next? I still shudder thinking about it.
My character suddenly wasn't on my... I had to get a new login and logged in, and my character was there, and they were moving around by themselves.
Their name was now Frog, not the character name I had become used to.
And it was spelled Fraug, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
I looked it up, and it was the source of an ancient German video game from the early 80s, and it was in arcades in America.
So I had to go down to my local garage sale and pick out and find the cabinet, which was all black. The label had been peeled off, and okay, I'm done.
And there was
a
strange red liquid oozing out of the screen.
Oh, it was code red. So I naturally...
My birth certificate was inside too. I was a little alarmed. But anyways,
the frog doesn't exist. I hate
the golden beaver doesn't exist either. We finished it like twice, I think, right, or something. I don't think we finished it twice. I think it was only once. But
just once. But the beaver doesn't exist either.
I just want the beaver. That's the whole reason I'm doing it. I want the beaver.
Yeah.
Golden beaver.
You need a golden beaver.
I have that now after Christmas. I have the beaver plushie now, the official beaver plushie, and that's...
Hell yeah.
That's good, but I need the golden beaver. Yeah, not much to say about that. Hope they don't do maps next time in the next expansion, and I hope they make something better.
They just need to... Okay, the 3 map things that we have, all great. Keep updating them and give people reasons to play the older maps.
All great? You think they're all great?
I mean, great in terms of we don't need more of this content. We're good.
I guess so. I think I think the real problem is, what reason do you have to do the Aquapolis?
See, that's the thing I want. They need to, if we are getting level 90 group maps that give you a map dungeon, then all of the other maps need to have a reason to exist, and that reason to exist means they do not consume your daily map allowance.
Sure. Or something, I don't know.
or I would be content if we don't get a new map series next expansion, and instead they just continuously add more rewards to Aquapolis, the shifting canals of Uznair, and the shifting oubliettes of Liagia.
I'm not settling for that. I want them to delete them from the game. I want them to get rid of them completely because I hate them, and I want them to make something that's fun.
Okay.
I just think because the roulette is fun. I like the roulette. I do like doing the roulette. But when you do the normal maps, it is such an exercise in tedium and the same thing over and over because there's just no variety, right? Like there's just, you're gonna fight the pigs, you're gonna fight the big flower guys, you're gonna fight the same ones every single time. The dungeon crew is gonna show up and give you 20k. It's,
Yeah, I like the oubliettes a lot because there's less. You're just fighting trash mobs, and more you're just fighting bosses that have kind of cool mechanics.
Yeah, like, yeah, this is especially compared to the before where it was just, hey, we put in this boss from somewhere else here. They're doing unique mechanics in these. Not like overly unique mechanics, but unique enough.
Yeah.
Something you wouldn't associate with that enemy. Yeah, I think that's good, but
oh god, the next map's treasure stuff, the treasure maps are gonna have like the lunar trials or some shit.
Yeah.
But then, oh no, they probably won't be that because then they'd have to be, well, they wouldn't necessarily have to be on the
Emmett
moon.
Selk's treasure vault.
Oh god.
I don't know. Mirror City and no, I don't know. All right. Real quick, this one we can cover quick. Emerald weapon. It was Gaius.
It was Gaius.
That's good that they got that out of the way.
Mechs with swords are pretty cool. Liked that.
Yeah, the floating ones, which I guess actually, in a sense, could have been foreshadowing for some Endwalker stuff. But yeah. The music was pretty good, I'll say. I appreciate Soken always mixing it up at the very least. I always prefer a vocal track, but I think it's just because I'm starved for them, because it's like, I love Warrior of Light. Like, we love that song. That song is the bomb. But it's just like, Ultima Weapon was 2 songs that have existed. This is 2 songs that have existed again. However, I think I like this one a lot more than before, than Ruby Weapon, because he did some shit to that song. That's pretty good.
It's I like this Emerald Weapon second phase song quite a bit. Mechanically speaking, for both the normal mode and the extreme mode, I'm surprised orbs weren't a bigger play in Emerald Weapon's overall design, because it didn't even, like, Emerald's weapon's thing from 7 is that it does damage based on how many materia you have slotted.
Right.
Which they wouldn't have done that for this kind of game, because they wouldn't say, oh, in order to defeat Emerald Weapon, you have to unmeld all your materia.
Cowards.
But they could have had a mechanic where there are orbs that are supposed to represent materia. You need to slot in the correct orb into your character and then, like, keep matching it based on, like, the number of materia that the Emerald Weapon absorbs.
Sure.
They could have done something like that. And then the fights have one orb mechanic, both in the normal and in the EX version. It was a bit disappointing. I wanted more orbs. Second phase is really fun. They don't do a lot of my favorite mechanic in the EX fight, which is where all the players get, like, the pluses or the crosses, and you have to place them appropriately so you make a safe zone. And then, as far as the story is concerned, we got to see the horrible worst man, the Milk Sweat Man. We got to see his face. He does not look how I thought he would look. I thought he was going to look, like, very, like, handsome and pretty boyish.
Like Lelouch.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be Lelouch Lamperouge, and here he is looking like my great uncle cosplaying Lelouch Lamperouge. No,
I think we mentioned this before, but I forget what the other thing in the game was. But, like, there's been a couple things in the games where they're like, hey, the children being groomed. It's like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other thing was, though. What was the other thing? I don't know.
It very much sells him as a complete bastard who needs to be killed.
Yeah. But at a certain point, it's like, he's a Garlean. I think that's enough.
Mm-hmm. He's a Garlean commanding officer, so he doesn't even have the excuse of, like, the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of conscripted soldiers
and stuff, yeah.
that I've been forced by the game to kill, despite the fact that they're probably only doing what they're told because their families are being held hostage. I hope we kill him in 5.5. I don't want to see him anymore.
I assume you will. I'm a little worried about Xenos weapon or whatever that it's going to be, but we'll see. I bet they'll do something cool.
They kind of imply with the failure of the trial that they're doing at the end of the storyline, that they might not go with Xenos because they just simply can't control it. So what I'm hoping they do is they use him as the template for Diamond Weapon, because these are my creations. Only my combat data would be good enough to have the best weapon, and then he pilots it himself and we kill his ass.
Yeah. But what if they did I'm trying to think of I don't know. I can't think of anyone. I was like, what if they did? I don't know.
There isn't really too much else. There's the man there's a Gabranth, I guess, or the guy they mention in the storyline for Bozia. The what's his face? It's like Titus is his name. Not joking. But
I don't even remember that.
It's barely it's mentioned once. He's the legate of the Second Legion.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, but he's just a name and a dialogue right now. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, Emerald Weapon is good, but the song is really cool.
Yeah, it's dope. I still need to do the EX. We will do that at some point. So here, I'll take this chance to talk about things.
Mm-hmm.
Bozia, the Save the Queen storyline, relic stuff upgrade that just came out last week. Whew. So I think before I said like, hey, at least this is easier than Eureka, right?
Yeah.
At least this is like, you get to do the Eureka stuff way quicker, way easier. At the very least, there's that. I have swerved on my opinion, and I think Bozia is far worse than Eureka. Because I think Bozia is very boring, and they are being very lazy with how they are implementing it. So the relic this time around requires you to do a bunch of stuff that is just doing Bozia again. The same things that you had to do for the last one. The same exact things. They didn't add anything. They didn't make a new, like, Pagos equivalent. They make you go do Crystal Tower Alliance raids for the relic also. And Ravenaster. And Shadow of Mach. And it's just like, man, this is like the peak of their lazy development, it feels like to me. I'm really not happy with it. And on the one hand, I was excited for Delubrum Regina, Regine, I don't know how to pronounce it, because I was like, oh, okay, you know, it's going to be the Baldesian Arsenal, but people can queue for it, so you know, it's accessible. It's as opposed to Baldesian Arsenal, which you have to join a Discord to do. But it's just an alliance raid that's really boring and has like some interesting mechanics, but like no aesthetic cohesiveness or like anything going on really. It just feels like they were like, oh yeah, we're making a 24-man. Here you go. Except this time, sometimes your party is 8 healers. So you do no damage. That was my first experience doing Delubrum. Was I had a party that was, 6 healers, me as a samurai, and a summoner. Fun. And it was just like agonizingly slow because they just let that happen for some reason. I don't know what the merit is in that, but yeah, I'm not very positive about Bozia right now. Especially since in the storyline they have Fordolad, the sexy Rogadin woman, and she is just in prison forever now.
Oh, great!
Sorry to spoil that. I forgot, but yeah.
That's unfortunate. I like Bozia as in the sense that, okay, this is some cool world building stuff. And you know, I like that there's this cool like team of people that I'm working with. I liked doing the content, but I liked doing the content with the expectation of, okay, this is the first area, and then we'll get to a new area, and there will be like a progression here. So like, unlike with Eureka, where you have to level up in Animos, and then you basically just level up in Pagos doing the same shit, more or less, but worse because it's much harder to navigate. And then you got to Pyros, and it was you get to do other things while you're doing the same shit. You have to do the logogram stuff. And you can do really cool stupid shit to level, like taking off all your clothes and using reflect to force mobs to cast spells at you and reflect them back, and then you can just instantly kill them with their own spells, and it's great. And then you get to Hydatos, which is a lot of that stuff again, but you don't have to do as much of it, because Hydatos is really just more of a victory lap part of it. Like, you just go to the final part, and then, hey, look, you're there, because it's only 10 levels. Because I did Eureka, like, back in September, October, after I'd finished the hell that was Ishgard Restoration fishing for the second, like, ranked season to get Saint of the Firmament.
Which we can talk about next.
Which we'll talk about next, but and then I immediately went into another kind of grind with Eureka, and I had done most of it back when it launched, like back when like Animos launched. I'd finished that already, and I got to Hydatos, and I was like, oh, this is not going to be good. And then it just turned out that I had logged in at the point where nobody was doing it, and then I went in the next day, and there were actually people around, and it was much easier to do stuff. With Bozia, it was like the first part, I was excited to do it, and I did it, and I did Castrum. It took a bit, but I managed to do it. It was fine, and it was a cool experience of, okay, I think I'm pretty good at this game, and I think I'm pretty good at leading people through this game, but now I'm in this context where multiple different groups have to coordinate together to clear the content, and I would get thanked by people in the entire like Castrum run because I was doing like text callouts to let people like keep track of what they needed to do. And even if I wasn't the quote-unquote leader of the Castrum run, I would end up in that position because I'd be the person on the bottom calling out what the health was, or I would say, like, we need to split up into teams so we can get all of the prisoners rescued, or here's the callouts for the second fight with Adramalik and such. And people would thank me for it, and it was really cool. It was very validating. And then Delubrum Reginae comes out, and I hear that there isn't a new Bozia area, and you just have to do a billion alliance raids, and the new dungeon, the new like content thing is, it's got cool fight mechanics, but is ultimately like a slog to have to grind through.
Yeah, absolutely, because they expect you to do it a lot, especially so they added judge armor finally, and that's the only way you get it. It's just, especially because, like I said, how you can just end up getting stuck with, like, 5 healers in your party, like that. It's just like, oh, cool, so this run's gonna suck. Like, it's just the way that can happen so easily. Is it's just like, why didn't you just make it a normal alliance raid? Like, it's just it really just, the thing that strikes me about the whole thing, just all of it, is that it's like when Matsuno made the Rabinaster stuff, he made like a mildly aesthetic differential to existing concepts and aesthetics, right? Like themes and visualizations that existed already from Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy XII, games like that. So it was like a new take on something that people knew. This time, it's just wholly original stuff, and it doesn't feel tonally appropriate for either the evilly stuff that they're trying to leverage or the Final Fantasy XIV aesthetic that generally everything else has. Like, there's no cohesive... Like, when you look at everything in Crystal Tower, you go, yeah, this is the Crystal Tower, it's the Final Fantasy III stuff or whatever, right? You look at the Weeping City of Mach stuff, it's all Void Scent. It's cohesive. It's a cohesive thing. Here, it's like the first boss is a Ravana reskin. And then the second boss is just Gao Rao from Som All Hard. And then the next boss is like, I don't even remember what the boss after that is. And then just the Necromancer from Palace of the Dead. And it's just like, okay, what did any of these have in common, you know? Like, what is going on? Then, like, an original enemy, and then just the Queen Lady is the final boss or whatever, and it's just like, they have cool mechanics, they have fun stuff going on with that, but it's just like, aesthetically, like, what's going on? What is the cohesiveness here? Why are there traps in the hallways? Why are there just traps in the hallways? Because you want it to be like Vagrant Story? Why didn't you do Vagrant Story stuff instead? Give me the title Riskbreaker. I've been asking this forever. But just like, if they had gone like, hey, we're going Vagrant Story with this, I would have been like, cool. That's cool. But they didn't. They were just like, no, we're just going to do this random stuff. And also all the blades that we introduced to you in Bozia are just dead now? They're just dead now.
Sad.
Because, like, I was saying before, like, I thought they were going to be boss fights, right? Yeah. Like, it was going to be like, oh, shoot, you got to fight Evil Zevon now, the super strong black mage Catboy with a rich backstory, Lion Man with a rich backstory. And then it was just like, no, he's just been turned into a fusion homunculus or whatever that doesn't even do his mechanics.
That's sad.
Stupid. It just feels like a waste to me. It just feels like a real waste.
Having not done it, I also think that they have shot themselves in the foot with Bozia by letting people do stuff. By going, okay, we heard your feedback on Eureka, and we know you don't like to do it, so here we go with Bozia. You don't have to do Bozia if you just want the relic. You can do other things, like do Heavensward Fates, or do level 60 dungeons. And then
this step comes out.
Because people can ignore Bozia, and because it's more efficient to do the stuff outside of Bozia, at least for the first couple of steps. I don't know how it works for the next one, but it means that people don't do Bozia as much. So up until like right now, I'm sure getting Castrum runs is better than it has been, but after that first month, like when I got Solon and crew to being able to do Bozia because we caught up in the MSQ, we could not do Castrum runs because only 20 odd people would sign up for it. It was a nightmare. And I think Eureka was better in the sense because, as you said, you do kind of need to join a Discord to do a good Baldician run. But at the very least, there's a precursor fate to having a Baldician arsenal spawn in your instance. So you know if that fate's up, oh shit, we've got 30 minutes to do this fate. The fate itself isn't all that difficult, but once it's done, then we can, storm Baldician arsenal. So you have time to prep and organize, and people can decide like if they want to try it or not, or if they want to like get people from the Discord in to sort of lock down the instance and make sure that people in that Discord can get the run or whatever. Because when I was in Hydatos, there was like courtesy to that. People would wait for the fate and they would ask, hey, is anybody from like a BA group like going to want to do this? And there was one where people said, yeah, we want to do this. Can you hold off on this? And people were like, yeah, sure, we'll help you clear the fate because we get rewards for it too, but we're not interested in running BA right now. So you can have the BA like portals that spawn. With Castrum, it's just it shows up at the worst possible times. Even the buff they did where the timer's now 6 minutes to sign up for it doesn't really solve the problem of if not enough people sign up for it, it just fails. It needs to be you talk to a person in the base and say, hey, I would like to do a Castrum run. And once 48 people are signed up, it spawns the thing, and then everybody goes.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think it's very telling how badly this is all designed that they had to clarify on the live letter and explain it all to people and say that we're going to do a hot fix because nobody's doing Castrum.
We're going to increase the rewards because we also shot those in the foot this past patch by letting you get the coins that you used to only get from Castrum just by doing the overworld fate shit.
It's just like, and also like this, these reward circuits seems like such a waste of time. Like, listen, I know it's a video game, okay? Like, you know, it's not like this time is being used to cure anything, whatever, like world peace and something. But like, it's just like, listen, I want to have fun. I want to like be engaged. I'm used to the grind. I can have fun with the grind, make it a social experience, do it while I do something else, you know, stuff like that. And it's just like, even I'm sitting here as the person who made like every 2.0 relic, and I'm just like, man, I do not want to even bother like getting that dyeable judge armor, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's just like, get fucking 600 Bojin coins and also the new ones, and then yeah, I'm very disappointed in overall, especially because like, say what you will about Eureka, I will. It's not great, but I think it felt like you were exploring somewhere. And here, when I look at the Bozia map, it's just boring. It's brown.
I think if they
Magitech enemies.
I think if they had done Bozia back in Stormblood, not as a replacement for Eureka, but just the concept of there is this battlefield instance that you have to go into and like fight, and it's in a version of the locks that you could just revisit after you finished the 4.0 story. I think Stormblood would have been better because Bozia delivered to me that sort of sense of I am on the battlefield and I'm fighting like, you know, legions of soldiers and stuff. That was cool, but why am I still fighting on this battlefield? Didn't we win? Like, isn't there like another front? Or didn't we lose and we have to go rethink our strategy and approach from a different angle? Because at least with Eureka, you kept seeing the Valdesian arsenal, like the big keep in all of the areas, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it felt lead up. And here it's just, nope, we're just on the southern front again. They are adding Zodnor, a new region next patch.
I hate every time it's said out loud. Zadnor
from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is going to be here, but we'll see. It's at a low point.
It's a real low point,
but it'll be over soon. Speaking of things that are over now, Ishgardian Restoration.
Yep. We didn't participate overly, neither of us.
Yeah, I think I might have some unresolved fish trauma, so because like I didn't touch the game that week that Ishgardian Restoration came out. I played with
keep it away from you.
I played with Sullen for a bit on his stream, but I didn't go near. I didn't even go to Ishgard. Is how bad it was.
The place of evil.
I fished like hundreds of thousands of fish for you. You get none of my time right now. But it's over now.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Not on Malboro.
Oh,
They aren't even close to finishing the construction, the concerted works and such. We're like readily in last place, handily in last place.
I mean, it'll be done eventually. I'm
Yeah.
glad they mentioned that we're not going to get the housing for it for 3 more patches. So it's not like, oh, once you finish, that's when you get Ishgard housing, which I didn't think they were going to do.
No,
but it's. I'm glad that they didn't do that.
I hate being kept out of the side quests, though. Like, you can't do the side quests until it's done.
Gonna be honest, I haven't even done the side quests from the last time because I was just that.
I'm just about at the end of them. Yeah, I was like trying to look for a reason to do them, and I was like, well, this won't happen for a while. But yeah, it's still. I overflowed on seals. This time around, I basically just did macro crafting, the second highest item or whatever, to get the Mog coupons, because I wanted to get a friend the casual attire that they added. It made me really just sitting here and questioning what they're thinking when they made that Mog coupon Kupo exchange thing, because they put like, what was the calamari, the minion from Hullbreaker Hard, and like a couple other weird prizes as just like first prize, when it's just like, man, this is already a roulette. Why do you have to give me like this nonsense when I'm trying to get the casual tie? I felt like a very bad system that I feel like they should have, like, the fact that I had to make 630 lampposts to
so many
get anything of worth, really, is kind of whack, you know?
They needed to, instead of getting, oh, you have a chance of getting the minion, it's, oh, you have a chance of getting a minion ticket, then you take the ticket to the lady and you pick
and
the
you
minion that you want.
Yeah,
or you have to,
definitely.
like, and for the newer ones, it costs more tickets to get them.
That's what they did with Wondrous Tales.
Yeah. They could have just done that. They solved this problem. Stop unsolving the problem.
Keep unsolving the problem.
I haven't gone into the firmament on Balmung yet. I'll probably do that sometime this week, but I assume it's done because we have so many fucking crafters and we're usually in second place behind Tonberry.
Mm-hmm. I'd have to imagine it's done by now, easily. Yeah. Okay, real quick, we'll go through these little things and then talk about Blue Mage. How about that?
Yeah.
So the new Tombstone set is Bloodborne. Good stuff.
It's good stuff to me.
It all looks great.
I have the Gunblade, which is just a fucking cleaver weapon from Bloodborne.
Yep. It's really good, too. I like most of the weapons. I like almost all the armor as well. It's great stuff all around. Ocean fishing got updated. Have not touched it.
I haven't either, since I don't want fishing in the, like, I already got the shark mount, and I don't really like ocean fishing all that much compared to regular fishing. And I've done so much fishing in this game in the past.
Yeah.
I've done enough fishing for a while that I'm good. When we're on the moon and we can do moon fishing, I'll do that, but...
Yeah, ocean fishing got me in the kick of trying to catch every fish in the game, and then you see how you catch some of those fish and you say fuck off. But they did just remove fish eyes, I think, didn't they? Yeah. So I might give it another whirl. Triple Triad they updated. What did they change? Just they added a new tournament?
They gave you I don't know if they have given, but they will be giving you a reward for actually collecting all the cards, which is a neat little thing. I don't know what the reward is. They just said that. They
said it won't be a card like it has been usually.
Yeah. It might be a fun glamour outfit, so we'll see.
It should. Yeah, maybe they'll let you get an FF8 themed mount. Who knows? What else? The thing that they're doing with Triple Triad that I thought it was insane that they didn't do this when this update came out, that they were talking about it as a big update. They're letting you use more 4-star cards in your deck in the next patch, which is like, okay, finally, because there was no reason to ever use 4-star cards. Because it was just like, I have 5-star cards. Just use them. So that's good. Doen Mahjong, what did they update with this?
They just made it like easier to play, basically, like easier to learn and pick up, and it's just like most of these are just kind of like quality of life things. Like ocean fishing has more content. Doen Mahjong is easier. Triple Triad, we have fixed some of the systems. Like now you can use 4-star cards. New Game Plus, you can do the job storylines, and they basically caught up to everything now. So I think almost all of the game you can New Game Plus. You might not be able to do like some of like the Stormblood like job quest lines yet, but I imagine those will happen soon. But like you can replay all of the story content except for obviously this past patch. Explorer mode.
Yeah, Explorer mode was that exists. I'm not touching it because I don't care about exploring the Shadowbringers dungeons right now. There's some cool stuff you can find in there, but I'm more interested in when they add the Heavensward stuff, just as a dragon fan, let's say.
Yeah, that's fair. I like Explorer mode a lot. It's very fun. It did crash my computer when I first tried it, but that was more of like a PC issue on my end rather than a glitch with the mode. I did think it was an Explorer mode thing, because it just wouldn't let me like log into the game. Like I thought my character was just trapped in Grand Cosmos the whole time. But no, it's really good. I specifically like how in Explorer mode you can have your minions out, and I feel like we should just be able to take our minions into dungeons. I want to take my son Buffa with me everywhere, my buffalo calf, because he's my favorite. But we'll see. I think
there'll be a little place you can take Buffalo Calf later that we'll talk about.
Yeah. I think it's all the small stuff from this patch, though. We'll talk about Blue Mage.
Yeah, so we were doing this is the only way I got you to play this patch.
Yeah, this is the only thing that had me play this patch was I told Rose I'd help her level Blue Mage. I'll do it then, and then it was like, oh cool, I can actually okay, this is fun now because Blue Mage fucking rules. If you don't like Blue Mage, you're wrong, but also I understand.
Yeah, I think, once again, I felt this way about the last time they updated it. Strong patch for Blue Mage. Really working to make it just feel better and better. A lot more fun tools to play with without invalidating, older spells necessarily all the way. Mm-hmm. I have one qualm.
Yeah?
You wrote it down here. They need to make it a real job if they're going to make it a tank healer or a DPS anyway.
Yeah. I did write that they need to make it a real job. I honestly just want to be able to do MSQ with it. Because I will make party finders of, hey everybody, I am doing MSQ on Blue Mage. I need a Castra Meridianum clear and a Praetorium clear. Can you help me do this? You can play whatever job you want, but I will be on Blue Mage. Thank you. Bye. I will make party finders every time I have to do a duty like that. I'm totally down for that. But honestly, they should just make it a real job. You can keep all the Blue Mage, like the Blue Mage log stuff where you get bonuses for clearing fights as Blue Mage, and you can keep all of the achievement titles that you have for clearing the Heavensward and Realm Reborn and now Stormblood raids as an all Blue Mage team. You can keep all that stuff. But I think if they start transitioning from limited job means this job can't do certain things to limited job means we are going to roll out this job in a limited fashion over a period of many patches, but eventually it will become an actual job that you can use in content, that would be fun. Because it really isn't that Blue Mage is all that broken. It's like you can't cast level 5 death and just kill things in the hard content. They already made that balance for the job, so
yeah, there's just so many things in the going through Stormblood stuff especially was really frustrating because it was showing so you made Blue Mage to be a showcase, oh, you can have fun and fool around with this stuff, it's not the real thing, but then it's resist, okay, mm-hmm. I was going through we were going through Temple of the Fist and you can't deep freeze them,
you can't.
Okay, that's 4 moves invalidated. It's fine. You can just let them be real. You can just let them be real and prescribe them the kits. Who cares? The way it's such an issue to them is insane to me because, you look at FF11, and granted, FF11's a very different game, but they just let Blue Mage exist and be insane.
Yeah.
They didn't worry about it. They didn't worry oh no, what if you join a raid party and you don't have the spells? Then you just didn't play, it's...
Or you get kicked.
You get kicked. That's fine. That can be how it is.
It's very upsetting. It's so fun to play, even like
It is.
even without being able to, I can just missile or tail screw enemies down to no health, basically. Even when I'm not allowed to do that, it's still fun to play because the spells are fun to use.
Yeah, they made a class that's a ton of fun OGCD weaving, which is my favorite thing in the game. And the OGCDs are the strongest moves.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're also just doing like casts that all have really different animations and really different feels that makes it just feel really unique and fun. And it doesn't play like any other class in the game, whereas like everything else has become so homogenized over time.
Yeah.
I should just be a real job. I hope they realize that. I hope that they just go like, okay, it's real. We're just going to balance it. But they're just going to go, oh, it will be too hard to balance.
I mean, they are already doing a lot of the balancing right now anyway, because some of the spells we got this time, like, overwrite these spells we had originally. Like, Night Bloom is a spell you can get now from Tsukuyomi, and it does a shit ton of damage. It's like 300, 400 potency. And then like 50% less for every second, like the second target onward, so it has damage fall off. But then it applies a 60-second bleed. It's like fucking Higanbana on Samurai, except it overwrites Song of Torment's bleed. So your choice there is you can either not use Night Bloom and instead use the other spell that you can get both ends from the final boss of Swallow's Compass, Sun Wukong. His Tank Buster move, you can get that as a spell. You can only use both ends or Night Bloom, so you can either choose to have Monkey Stick and Song of Torment, or you can choose to have Night Bloom and Song of Torment, because Night Bloom has a 2-minute cooldown. So you use Night Bloom, you get the big damage and then a 60-second bleed, and then in the 60 seconds before Night Bloom comes back, you can use 2 Song of Torment, so you have 100% bleed uptime. And it gives you a whole minute where you don't have to keep reapplying Song of Torment every every 30 seconds. So, but you have a choice there. So they're already doing like the numbers balance. There's only like, even with Final Sting, they balanced it last time where they made it so you have a debuff on you, so you can't do a thing where I am a blue mage and then I will use Final Sting and do a shit ton of damage to the boss, and then my blue mage companion will raise me, and then they will do Final Sting and do a shit ton of damage to the boss, and then the next blue mage. You can't do that because I mean, I guess you can do that, but you can't do it repeatedly, right?
Yeah.
Because people have you have the 10-minute Brink of Death or Brush with Death debuff that prevents you from using like self-destruct and such. And then also the Blue Mage Raise has like it's like a tank invulnerability cooldown. It's got like 300 seconds. So
it's just cowardice. It's just cowardice.
I think honestly they're thinking about it from the other way, where if they make it a real job, it's going to make the other jobs feel lackluster.
Maybe they should have stopped killing them. They should stop killing them.
To which I would say, just design those jobs better.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy.
Like Red
Easy.
Mage. Red Mage. Please design
I mean, it's
Mage
easy
better.
for me to say that, having never designed a job in this game, but
well,
I have played a lot of them. I have played a lot of them.
You were around in Heavensward a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, so you know they used to be cooler. They used to be more unique.
What did? Sorry.
They did. All of them. All of the jobs.
All the jobs? Oh, yeah.
Some of them had issues, but
I didn't like how, like, all of the jobs just had a one-off dot that you just threw on without really thinking about it.
I love it. You're crazy. I love it. Well, yeah, they should have made it so you think about it instead of removing it.
Like I don't mind all jobs having a dot. That's not the issue. The thing is, they basically all had the same dot, but they each had a cool different animation for it, so it at least felt different.
Yeah.
I still want them to bring Dark Knight's Scourge back and then make it a combo finisher, so I don't just end up using fucking Soul Eater as my combo finisher.
Yeah, I don't know why Blood Spiller isn't that or something. Well, because they were like, you do 1,000,000 Blood Spillers because it's just Warrior.
It's just Warrior.
It's the same.
It's just
and
Warrior.
the Paladin's also just Warrior when they make you do the Holy Spirits. It's just the same thing.
So,
anyways, 5.5. Not much to talk about here.
Yep.
2 parts coming out April 12th and then the end of May. As usual. Not as usual because, delay, but as usual. Format wise. Zadnor, as we said, I'm not going to say that ever again for the rest of this podcast. No more. No more Zadnor. The dungeon is Pagelthan, which is a section of Eorzea that's in the bottom right that takes up an entire quadrant of the continent and the same amount of space as Thanalan, but apparently it's just one dungeon.
They're doing a Zelphatol again, where everybody thought Zelphatol would be an area, because it's the huge northernmost area in Eorzea, and then they just made it a dungeon.
It's fine. At least that one's all mountains, Like, I get it. Like, how exciting are a bunch of rocks. But
yeah,
this is, like, flat. This is, like, whatever. They're going to be like, oh, Ifrit burned it all. I don't know. The ultimate has been delayed.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a controversial thing, but I think that's just because the raid people have been starved this expansion just because of COVID. With that big delay between 5.2 and 5.3, basically making people stuck on Shiva for, 7 months straight.
Oh, it was
more because it was this patch.
It was almost a whole year of Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva, and then they put Shiva.
And they even said, well, not only that, they also said we're not going to do. They pushed the ultimate back from being released in 5.3 to 5.5.
Because they said they wanted to help the raiders. And they couldn't have known, right? Like, they couldn't have known that this would happen, but it's still like, ugh.
And now it's delayed to 6.1. So, Stormblood had a really good system there because, so you raided in 5.0, and then they came out with the ultimate in 5.1. So your raiding, you had to clear the raids in 5.0 to get into UCOB, the Unending Coil of Bahamut. Right? So doing all that raiding was helping you gear up and unlock and complete the Bahamut Ultimate. And then 5.2 came out, so it's a new raid tier. You did that, and then or not 5.2, 4.2, and then 4.3 came out, and then they had Ultima Weapon Ultimate. And so doing the raiding in 5.2 helped you do the ultimate raid in 5.3. Then 5.4, or I keep saying 5, and then 4.4
I know, it
messes
me up.
The 4th Stormblood patch came out. It's the final tier. You do the raiding there, clear that tier, and even though there wasn't going to be an ultimate in 4.5, it was still helpful to get you head start and the gearing for 5.0. So the final raid tier was more of a nice victory lap for having an entire expansion's worth of Savage and Ultimate tier raids. So the pattern was Savage, Ultimate, Savage, Ultimate, Savage. With Shadowbringers, it was Savage, Ultimate, Savage, 7 months plus of nothing, and then 5.3, which had nothing, and then Savage, and then 5.5 is going to have nothing, basically.
Yeah.
Which...
Again, unavoidable stuff to a degree, but it's at the same time, it outlines that they didn't have, any... even if the Ultimate had come out in 5.5, right? Let's pretend COVID never happened, right? Let's pretend it never happened. Everything's going as scheduled. That's still, even ignoring... Let's, I really don't like the Ultimates, okay? I just really, really don't like the Ultimates because of how they talked about how much effort it takes to make them. Because it just doesn't feel like an equivalent trade, because there are plenty of people who are Savage Raiders who are not Ultimate Raiders, right? And cutting, like I said earlier, cutting out the more casual content and making it less and less just for the sake that they can make 2 Ultimates in expansion is just there's nothing for those people to do. it's just like it feels like such a waste to me. Like, I want them to exist, but I guess what I really want is I want Square Enix to put some damn money back in the game instead of spending it on FF16.
Yeah.
Or, Marvel's Avengers, that real banger.
The thing that I haven't liked about the Ultimates is the rewards aren't really compelling to me, which is a minor thing. Like, the titles are cool, but I would never use the titles themselves because they're very, like, the Legend, the first one, that one's a good title. Then you have the Ultimate Legend, which is a wrestling term, which I'm sorry for the people who are listening to this who are big Wrestle fans, but the way to not sell me on a thing is to compare it to wrestling favorably. And then the Perfect Legend just is like, okay, now you're just being...
You just ran out, yeah. And then what's the next one going to be? It's going to be the dragon... I don't know, the title, Archbishop Legend.
The title should have been the Legend, the Ultimate Weapon, and then the Perfected.
Yeah, that would have been fine.
Because then they would at least be different, and they would still be like, oh shit, this person has cleared an Ultimate. Whereas, and then the weapons are gaudy as all hell, and I hate them.
Yeah, and the fact that you have to run multiple times to get multiple weapons is insane to me. Like, they are so fixated on this idea of trying to contrive reasons for people to do the content, and all that's doing is limiting the amount of the specific people who are doing it. Because it's not like those people are going to be like, oh yeah, now let's go. I'm going to go join a completely different static and clear this from the ground up again. No one's going to do that.
I mean, there are people who do that, but also go play other games.
Please play other games if you're doing that. This is my appeal to you. I'm glad you're having fun, but I think that you could do something else and have more fun. There are better social situations you can cultivate. That's just... I don't want to judge anyone. I don't.
No.
Have your fun, but at a certain point...
I know there were people who were like throwing a fit that Ultimate had been delayed to 6.1, and they were, making big fusses about it, and I got to see sides of the Savage raiding community going like, we're not like that, don't judge us. And I was like, I'm not, but also maybe we should only have one Ultimate per expansion, that way the expectations are set for everybody, so we don't run into the situation.
And we can get content back.
And we can get content back, and have the Ultimate be in, like, I don't know,
5.3,
the third patch, like 5.3.
That between raids.
That way, if you're coming into the expansion as a new player, you would feasibly have enough patches of content so that you could get into the game, get your bearings, and then get some raiding in on the second patch, and then like, okay, now you understand that like the Ultimate's there. So if you're getting into the game specifically because you want an Ultimate raid, there's a viable path there. You might have to buy like a level skip and story skip to do it, but I assume if you're coming here for Ultimate raids, that's what you're going to do anyway. But also, it gives the raiders times to get acclimated to their new rotations for their jobs. They have an entire raid tier where they can get acclimated to it. And if they decide like they want to job switch, or they don't really like how it plays, they can switch. They have time. They can do the next tier, and then they're ready for Savage. So they go through 2 whole tiers of figuring out what job they want to play, and then the Ultimate comes out, and then they can, throw themselves against that brick wall for like 3 weeks or whatever, 3 weeks or 3 months. And then they don't have to worry about like, clearing that Ultimate in time for the next Ultimate, because the next Ultimate won't be out for like a year and a half. And then for the 5.1 and the 0.5 patches, we get content for everybody. The other thing that I hate about the Ultimates and also the Savage tiers is they're not delayed. So when a patch launches, raiders have to choose between doing raiding, which they're going to pick, or doing the other new content that's in the game. So you have situations where raiders have to specify like, hey, please don't spoil me in the stream chat about the story, because I care about the story, but I also care about raiding. And they shouldn't have to choose. That's not fair. Speaking personally, because of how E12S is looking, how we got in there today, and we're probably gonna be able to clear it in the next month or so, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
If the new Ultimate, which we do know is going to be it's basically like the storyline of 3.0. It's the Heavensward Dragon Song War, but as an Ultimate fight. That might have been the first Ultimate that I actually tried to do. But now that it's not going to be, it's delayed until 6.1, I might just try and clear Alexander Ultimate, because even though I don't like the weapons, at least the Astro weapon from that one looks nice. So, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Just only do one Ultimate per expansion. Please, that's all I ask.
Yeah.
And consider the Heavensward one the one for Endwalker.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, but, bright side, 5.5, we get to fight Diamond Weapon and get a robot dragon as the mount.
Yeah, the Robo Gwibber thing that has like 8 wings and rockets everywhere. That's crazy. It's very interesting that they went with that instead of the golden motif. Because last time I guess they did something different too, huh? It wasn't a golden motif either. It was the Tamamo.
Right.
There. It's good.
It's good. I still only have the Ruby Gwibber, but I need to get the other one. So
I only have the I can't even remember the name.
Innocence?
Titania. Yep. Titania.
I cleared Hades with Solon. That was fun.
Oh, good.
I actually cleared Innocence with Solon too, now that I think about it.
Well, that one's easy these days.
That one was so easy.
I've gone into farm parties where the people are lying to you and they haven't cleared it, and it's been fine. They messed up all the mechanics and it's still fine.
Mm-hmm. So there isn't really much else to say about 5.5.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Not really. Like, hey, there's going to be another near raid. They're not saying what it is. Hey, there's going to be the diamond weapon, as we said. Hey, there's going to be, a bunch of random little updates. Like, I think it's going to let you set which fish you always release from a certain area, which is great. They're going to put the nodes on the mini-map, or not on the mini-map, on the actual map for gathering when you check it from the gathering log, so it shows you where it actually is.
Nice.
Yeah, little stuff like that that's really good.
Again, great quality of life changes.
Yeah. It's just wish there was more things to do. You do them and use them. You take advantage of them,
Yeah.
Because the fact that they stuck to submarines this expansion also, like, let me tell you, as someone who went hard in on the submarines, do not like the submarines. Do not like them one bit. I hate them.
I don't even really like the airships because I just want to. That could be content.
Yeah.
That could be.
They were
a little submarine.
They did. It's called the Diadem.
I know, but I mean, like, they could have been content that isn't just the diadem. That could be the replacement for the treasure maps. As you get into your little submarine or on your airship and you fly into a thing and you go do a cool, like, they had those missions in 1.0 where you were on an island and you had to just fight waves of enemies and you get a treasure chest. They could just bring that back.
Yeah, sure.
Let me do that shit.
They did that in Battle for Azeroth for WoW.
Really?
Yeah, they did literally that. It's randomly generated. They can make that the new palace. There you go. You got it. It's easy. There's so many options on the table for them.
All right.
So that'll be part A right there for the podcast. Any final thoughts on 5.4?
This is the first patch where I'm not playing as an alt because I want to play other games.
I mean, you got into Destiny, right? Like, it makes sense. Like, you want to...
Yeah.
You got that other drip feed to worry about.
I do. But it's not just that, too. Like, I've been replaying, like, Fallout New Vegas and stuff, so... And, like... The story's still great. I still love this game. It's just... This is the first patch where it's like, I really want to not play this game as much as I have been, because... And that's fine. But...
Yeah, that's how it's... Yeah.
Let me play Blue Mage and MSQ. I made an alt after last Blue Mage patch, so that I could play Blue Mage again and get all the spells again and do Masked Carnival again. That's how much I love that job. Please make it a real job.
It's great. Yeah. It should just be a real job. Please, UFGP, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Don't add another... The fact that they didn't announce a limited job this time also is really surprising to me. I hope it means that they're reconsidering their stance.
Yeah. That's all from me.
Yeah, all right. Well, I don't think I have much more either. Still like Blue Mage. I went for the Blue Mage feat. That was the only thing I forgot to say. The achievement again. I want to try to do the raids because the Azure and the Omega is a great title.
But it's Virgil as a title.
Yeah, it literally is. But I didn't have much luck last time trying to do those, so not very optimistic for the harder ones. But we know whatever. It's going. Yeah, we'll talk more about in part B the Endwalker stuff, which is the real new hot newsness that people are talking about, and we'll talk about that, and you can listen to that at the same time. It should be up in the feed at the same time as this one, so go and take a listen. I can say this officially now this time. I'm not editing it in post. Just saying it normally. So yeah, thanks for listening, and watch out for that.
Yeah. Bye. See ya.